Hello guys, it's GMAX from GMAX Studios, and today I'm going to be working on this picture from start to finish. Also, I'm combining these online tutorials with a live class, a live session straight from my studio. And if in case I get questions from my guys over here, I will tend to answer it. So please flow along, and I guess you would also enjoy the session. Okay, alright, today I'm going to be working on this series of images. We have this for I did a ton of pictures for this client, and I I particularly love her looks. For me, I don't think I'm a big fan of this makeup or of her makeup, but I love her looks. So I thought I should use this picture to work something out so you can get to see how I would also manipulate this image to give me that very beautiful look like I always do. Okay, so back to the world of Photoshop. I'm actually working on this image, and this is my camera raw. For me, I use camera raw for most of my camera raw processing. So this is straight from the camera and then just the picture. So first of all, for me, I would want to reduce the highlights. I'm particular about that. I'll reduce my highlights. Then I would also want to increase my white, because I was supposed to reduce my highlights. Then for some dark areas, I might want to increase this a little bit. So I think 22 will be fine. Okay, 21 will be fine. Okay, many a times many image vary, so if this setting doesn't work for you, just understand that okay, this highlight stands for the white areas. That if I move it all the way down, you get to see that the light on the face is being removed because of I reduced this highlight. But I don't want to reduce it all down. I just want to take it off a little bit so that I can place a balance on it. So I think I'm fine with 38. So if maybe for the other image you're working on and then you're having issues that the light is too much, you can as well reduce exposure and then also reduce your highlights to get that beautiful result that you would want. Okay, so for me, I will reduce the highlight. Then I would also want to reduce the shadows. Okay, increase the shadows, and then I would add these blacks a bit so that I get that depth. So I will go for my texture, and then I'll just increase my texture because I want my image looking very strong and all sharp. So this is another secret. Many people ask, how do I tend to get those beautiful sharpness? This is one of my secrets I do to get that. So I'll add my texture depending on the image also, and then I want to add my clarity at least, let's say 7. 7 should be fine, so that whatever I do, I get that playback on the texture. Even my frequency will still give me that result. So for now it's fine. Also for this image, for me to be able to get at least some balance on the neck here before I continue, I would want to pick up my brush on my camera raw processing, and then I would want to brush on the neck so that I could, let me review some details that are on the shadows. So when I get to my frequency separation, I will not have a very dark neck. So I'll just be particular about the neck, and then maybe some areas on her skin towards the neck area. So I'll just increase the shadows a bit. So if I reduce it, you see the effect. So okay, yeah, I'm good. I think that's fine. So now one quick way that we can actually work on the rest, instead of going through all of them and then doing the same process again, we don't have to. As far as we have done on this, we have done it on this first one, I will just click on it and then hold my shift and then click the last one. Or I can just quickly click on one and then I'll do Ctrl A, and it automatically picks all of them, select all of them, and then I would quickly click on any of this icon. I can click on this icon. Once you click on the icon, it will show the synchronized setup, and then what this means is any of these that you pick is what will be synchronized. So if I'm picking my basic or my curve or my details or whatever I want for it to go all around for the image is what goes. So if I don't want my exposure to go all around, then it won't go all around. But I'm fine. I think I want everything to go around. Okay, there's one thing that I have not done. and I normally used to do, especially when I'm working on a dark skin, I would always want to go to my color mixer, that's my HSL, and then I'll go to my luminance. We know very well that dark skin is always should have less light so that dark skin will come out very well. So I'll go to the luminance of my dark skin, and then I will want to reduce the luminance of the dark skin, and I'll reduce it at least a bit. I think 21 should be fine, and then maybe, yeah, 8 should be fine. So you notice now the skin is looking more darker than before. This is another way to perfectly get that blend on your dark skin model. So for those of us that love dark skin like myself, okay, so you could do that to be able to get that blend. And the beauty about this is when maybe I did all of that, coming here, as far as all of them were highlighted, the effect I did here affected this one. So if you notice, I did it only here, but it affected both this, it didn't change, and this. So if I highlight all and I do any effect, so automatically affect all. So I'll just do my Ctrl Z because I'm not after that right now. So I think for this image, it's kind of dark. But I like it, so I guess I'll just use 0.20. That's fine. So I'm good. So I'll just select all of them and then I would click open. Okay, all right, it is done loading. We actually shot this image with the Canon M50, and we used the 50mm lens, right? Okay, yes. So we use the 50mm lens, which for the Canon M50 users, we know that if you want to use the normal um, lens for the Canon, you would have to get a converter. So I recently got the converter and I was able to use the 50mm to shoot this. So I wish I can check the settings, but maybe in our post we'll drop the settings for this. Okay, so this is our image and we'll start with this image and see how we can retouch this. Okay, for me, I will want to take away my blemishes first, and today I'm going to work non-destructively. So one quick way I can do that is I will just create a new layer, and then I will pick my clone stamp tool. How to work non-destructively, that's what I'm trying to show you. And if you notice, this is not a planned shoot, so if in case you're seeing all of this, not to worry, I'll show you how to fix it. That is why I'm doing this tutorial, to be able to show you how you can actually get a very perfect look, despite the fact that, okay, maybe the client or the model wasn't looking too good. I want to work non-destructively, so I would pick my clone stamp tool, and then I would set my sample to current and below. That's to say, I'm telling it to work on both the current layer and below layer. So I will just pick my clone stamp tool, and then, like you know, I will use my alt. I'll sample and then I cover. I'll sample, I cover. I'll sample, I cover. I'll sample, I cover. Sample, I cover. So we are going to carefully do this, and I might just rush this process for sake of time because this is going to be a very long tutorial. So maybe just follow up on that. Meanwhile, if you're new to my channel, please do well to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And if this video is of help to you, please also do well to share to your friends and to your loved ones. And maybe that photographer out there that mentioned an issue he was having with either frequency separation, mixer brush, or blemish remover, or whatsoever, we have tons of tutorials on the channel that could help someone out there to become better. Okay, I'm not after the big blemishes. Okay, sorry, the small blemishes. I'm after just what you would have as bigger blemishes, so that I could as well. My purpose of me going through all of this stress is so I could use a higher blur that will give me more detail on the skin. That's just the purpose. Unless if I were to use a soft blur, yeah, I could take this off with my frequency separation. So So like I tell my people most of the times, the higher your blur, the sharper your image, and the lower your blur, possibly the softer your image, all of that. So me, I'm just being free because I'm with my people, and for those of you that will get to see this is just you benefiting, and I'm glad to share. I'm happy to share. So you just don't want to sample and cover. If I use this tone and come down here, see what happens. It changed the color. So you want to sample a tone that is close by. So I might just drop this in series. So if you get to watch any of the parts and wait for the next one, because we're going to drop it part by part so that you get to benefit and you follow up, and it's not going to be too cumbersome for you. Okay, back to the image. So like I said, I wanted to work non-destructively. So this is like, look at this, look at the skin. This is like my before, my after. So you can actually remove your blemishes even without you affecting the image. So if I want to do my before and my after, I can as well just have what I started with, unlike removing the blemishes and then you're just having something that has already been worked on. So let's get to the neck and then let's do a little work on the neck. So I guess today we have learned something new on how to work non-destructively, removing your blemishes. So this is the little I would do before I start my frequency separation. Alright, so we have come to the end of today's video on how to actually do your blemish removal non-destructively. So we are going to the next part, which is frequency separation. And for today's video, I'm going to be using my Retouch Academy. And my last video I posted before this one, I showed you guys how to install your Retouch Academy. I placed a link and how to also install your Retouch Academy into Photoshop. So if you've been having issues like myself some weeks back, go to my channel and then check it up, and then there's a link before it's being blocked or something. Go download it and then watch how you can install it properly. Okay, back to the video. I'm going to be using this Retouch Academy and show you how you can work with this guy to get the result you want. We'll click via Gaussian blur, frequency separation, and then it automatically creates that action for us. Here we can work faster. So I would now be at the point where I can pick my first blur. So for me, I'll be looking at my skin. Before I pick my first blur, I'll be looking at the details that is on my skin before I choose what I would want for my first blur. So let's say I'm working with 3.9. For me, it's too low because I'm seeing too many details. I'm still seeing too many details. And note that the higher your blur, the more detailed your image would be. Now, know that every texture that is being taken away from your low frequency is being preserved on your high frequency. So you just don't want to leave too much detail on your low frequency because it's going to cause your image to be soft than it should be. So I'm going to increase this all the way up because I will need more of this texture on the high frequency than the low frequency. And then I want to use 10. I want to use 10 for this image. I think, yes, 10 is perfect. So today I'll be using 10 for this image, and I will click OK, and let's Retouch Academy do the work. Okay, it's done. So I will just click on my low frequency, and then I will be showing you my brush setting. So I'll go to my mixer brush, click on my mixer brush. So for me today, I'll be using my wet as 2, my load as 40, my mix at 40, my flow at 40, and then I'm going to be using this guy at 10. Or will I just say the default setting for these two? I'll leave it at that. Now, for myself, most of the time I tend to increase this weight because I have a control over my brush. But for starters, you want to work with this so that it will help you control how much tones that are being moved from one place to the other. Okay, and then if you just install Photoshop, you get to see this box ticked. If you let this still tick, what happens is when I pick up my mixer brush and I want to brush, doesn't give you that skin tone, it gives you what is being selected. So if I'm picking a different color, let's say red, so you see it's not giving me. So I would want my brush to be transparent, which I would have to off this, and then let's do Ctrl Z to return back. Okay, so we are back. So let us off our high frequency. Why I love offing my high frequency is so I can see my details. Many people don't get to know and understand what this helps you to do, but it works magic for you, because if my high frequency is on and I'm brushing, now let me take an example. I'm brushing this part of the skin. Because of how sharp or how much blur I used as my first blur, I will not know what I'm actually doing as at that time, because it might look all the same, like the same thing. But if you're offing your frequency separation, you get to see that this place is smoother than this place is smoother than this place. So that is the easy way out to understand your frequency separation, even if you're using a very high blur. So for me, I would enjoy working this way because I can see where I have worked on and where I haven't. So, and then another thing is, for me to on this high frequency, I'm going to be seeing the hair, and the advantage of me using a high blur is it preserves my hair texture, because more of the texture of the hair is being preserved on the high frequency. So whatever I'm doing on my low frequency is not going to be affecting much. All I'm just going to be doing is blending. So the reason why you want to choose a high blur every single time that would match with your skin is because you're trying to preserve your high texture as much as possible, not to let your skin to be too soft for your client or for yourself or for anybody that will be appreciating your work later. So let's get back to business. So I'll be brushing right now. So I'll carefully want to brush. So I can as well go to my hair and then just want to get that blend of the hair. And then know that as you brush, you want to go and check your before and after. Please, if you love this video, please do well to like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification so that each time we post, you get to see it. This particular video is a series, so if you have not watched the earlier videos, please do well to go check it out. It is detailed and will give you that relevance that you need to take your photography to the next level. And then lastly, I guess you have friends and people around you, do well to share this video to that one that has been having issues with their frequency separation, so that they get to understand this little secret that we are sharing. Okay, so you just don't want to be too hasty about your brushing, especially if you have been having issues with your mixer brush. You want to take your time and actually do this. Okay, now let's see what I just did. This is like magic. So let's see our before and our after. So you see, because of my choice of blur for this image, I've been able to preserve my texture here and it's looking natural. Okay, so I will want to brush. When I get to my highlight here, the secret is you want to stay on your highlight. You don't want to spill. So when I get to in between my highlight and my shadows, I just want to blend in between. Open my brush, blend in between to get that perfect blend. So for this tutorial, I'm actually using a mouse, but for the next video I'll be doing with my mixer brush, I should be using a pen tab for it, which I've been practicing with for some time. But for the sake of this video, I needed to show the mouse users and everyone, even if you're using a pen tab and you know this secret, it can also guide you on what to do and how to do it. And for us that are using the pen tab, there are settings you need to even do for your pen tab for it to work perfectly. So if you've been having issues with your pen tab, anticipate the new videos I'll be doing after this series using my pen tab. Okay, so I've been able to preserve that. So let's off and on it. So we've been able to cause a blend there. So if you notice, just because of my first blow alone, I'm having so much texture. Okay, so I'm having so much texture. So we'll continue brushing. So like I said, for my next video, I'll be using the graphics tablet. So if you would want to see that, please, you can drop a comment below and we'll get to work on it. You could as well, for this image, I will drop the link to this image on the detail panel also on YouTube, so you can check it out. You can as well use 9 points something, even 8, if you don't want your image to be this sharp, and you'll still get a great result. And for those of you that would want to work on this image, you can as well do more work on the blemish remover. For the sake of the video, I didn't spend so much time doing the blemish removal because of time. I want this video to be as short as possible, though I know it won't be possible, but we'll try. Okay, so please, if you love this video, please do well to like it. Don't just watch and benefit and then just pass. Help us grow this channel and help us reach more people out there. Do well to comment also. It helps to make the channel visible to others. And lastly, don't forget to share this video. I would greatly appreciate if I have more shares on these videos. Okay, so if you're new to the channel, subscribe, because we have a lot in stock for you. So for my nose now, See the way I will brush my nose. My idea behind me brushing my nose and getting that detail I want is I will stay with my shadows. This shadow guiding line, I will stay with it, and then I would work with this highlight. I don't want to spill it, so I'll remain there. And then I will also want to work with this highlight. Then I'll come down here, and then I want to work over here, but not spilling my shadows or my highlights. So I'll brush all of this, and I'll come to the eye. I'll take my time. Now know that like I said, this image, my previous video, the makeup I think was done by the client herself. So I'm not getting that very beautiful makeup look that I want, but the goal is for us to make it beautiful. So if maybe the makeups are not blending and all, our aim is for us to do it or make it to blend using our mixer brush, our color grading, and everything, every tool we have to our disposal to make this blend. So also this particular section, I would not want to keep it the way I blended this area. I would want to blend that area. If you're having any issues, I think I have 2 or 3 other videos on using your mixer brush to retouch. So just go watch it and practice. The secret to mixer brush is practice. The more you do, the more you discover, the more you find ways. So what I do is if I'm trying to blend the place, I would stay on that place and brush till it blends, till I see that it blends. That's the way I effect my change. So I know that I'm having light here, so in between I would click on it and then hold it and then blend it. So I'm done. So this is like my before and my after. So I would still go back and then I want to check what I'm missing out on. So I'll use bigger brush to just cause a blend on them. Get that smoothness. Alright. So we're going to be working on the neck right now. And the shoulder aspect. So see the way I blend my tones. I'm not mixing my tones. I'm just like a guide to where my tones are falling. So I'm having this light here. And I'm having this place in blending. So I'm having this light here. Okay, I could just extend this chin, this neck bone. Okay. So I will come here and then I'll brush. Okay, to an extent we have washed away some of. Okay, let's blend. I'm seeing some things here I need to blend. Just don't want that neck to look. Not to worry, if there are some details that we have lost, we'll get it back. Just trying to cause a blend here because the makeup wasn't really blending. So that's to say, to have to stress us as the photographers to be able to do that magic that would make it cause it to blend. So alright, we have come to the end of today's video. If you love this video, please do well to like, do well to comment, subscribe and share. Hello guys, it's GMAX from GMAX Studios, and we are at the part 4 of this retouching series. And today we are going to be looking at how to do your global dodge and burn. So straight into Retouch Academy, I will just click on my dodge and burn curve. I told you we are going to be using the Retouch Academy today. And then quickly, for me, I don't use the visual aid, or I'll delete that off. I'm going to just be using my dodge and burn. Then there's an extra that I use for my dodge and burn. I go pick up my black and white. Why I love using my black and white is because it lets me see where my highlights are falling and where my shadows are falling, and I can control how much I would want to see this effect of the light falling. So once I move my red a bit backward, it enhances where my lights are falling. So if I were to just work on my hash lights, I can quickly do that with this. But I will not want to do that. I'll just keep it at this and I'm fine. So I'll go to my dodge and burn, and then I'll be using my brush. Now this is a new method I learned. Before, I used to reduce my opacity for my mixer brush for my dodge and burn, but recently I noticed that I would have to struggle a lot to get that result I want. So I had to switch, and then now I use my flow. So I reduce my flow to about, let's say, 6 is fine, and then opacity 100, and then we brush. So for me, I will want to start with my burn. Now in most cases you want to off your frequency separation. Why? Because you would want to see where your lights are falling. If you notice, if my frequency separation is on, you will notice that to an extent the details here were washed away and some other areas. So for me to be able to get those details back and see what I'm actually doing is for me to off my frequency separation layer, so that I will restore back those the lights and all that was being taken away during frequency separation. So I will off and then I would start work. So if I were to start on the face using my burn, I would just want to brush. I would just want to brush. Okay, so I'll be burning the shadows and I'll be dodging the highlights. So whenever you see your dodge and burn layers, you would want to know that the burn is for your shadows and the dodge is for your highlights. So quickly, let's burn. So I would want to apply my burn all the way up here. I'm following where my lights are falling. I want to stay guided. In most cases, I would always want to still go down a bit. I want to see more of that depth. Later, I could come back and reduce it. I want to work on those very deep darks first, so I don't miss out on any details. Now remember that your white reveals your black height, so when you're brushing on your black layer, you want to use a white brush to be able to reveal what you're trying to do. And we are going to go to the cheek, and then we want to get that detail black. I want my lips to look very bold, so I want to give it that depth it should have. Then I'll brush here, and I might add a little extra to so let us reduce this intensity of that red. Then let us add this, add this, let's add this. Okay, let's work here, and we want to see in most cases you want to zoom out. Then I would want to get these shadows under her neck. So we have this shadow all the way here. So I'm dodging right now. So remember that I said that we'll dodge our whites, our highlights, and burn our blacks. And then you also want to dodge and burn the lips too. Oh wow, I'll need to dodge. I'll need to dodge this area. I need to dodge this area. So you want to reduce your brush as small as possible when you're working on small places. For you to be able to work and get that excellent touch, you have to pay more attention to details. So if before now you just want to work on that image and then deliver to a client, or just want to work on it so that you post online, and or you just want to stop that because it will not give you the result you desire. So for you to get that amazing result that you see out there, you should need to put in more work. That extra is what gives you that uniqueness in your work. So I'm going to just be combining them at this point in time so that I get that result I am looking for. So let's say that okay, we're having more light at this point here. We're having more light at this point here. In most cases, I dot my eyes too. So you can take as much time as possible to just get that detail, that beautiful detail that you want on your skin. Let's just of the group for after, for after. Okay, let's see what the results like. Let's just burn all these areas. All right. Okay, for this nose, I would want her to have this pointed nose, and many people would ask, okay, how can we get that result? So one thing I'll do is I'll just add more bone to this side of her nose. To have that thin feel. Yeah. So I'm actually supposed to be following the makeup artist drawing, but I sure don't know what I'm seeing on this nose. So I will just be creating what I feel is right. Like I said, the in our earlier videos, it seems it was the client that actually did her makeup. So we sure know that we'll not get that very perfect look. So I'm just trying to see where my lights are falling so that I get those very sharp details. I'm after those sharp details right now. If I go back and do the needful. So I'm trying to get this my lid having that 3D feel. Okay, alright. So you have to pardon me if this video is so long. It's just because I would want you to go through the whole process with me and learning I would how I would want to get this result. Alright guys, so this is how to apply your dodge and burn on your image and making it look beautiful. Okay, so this is our before and this is our after. So if we would want to give it that realness, we want to reduce the group a bit, and then voila, this is our image. So this is before, this is after. So you see, you'll notice how we made this image look beautiful and pop out. Hello guys, it's GMAX from GMAX Studios, and today I'll be showing you how to retouch eyes in Photoshop. And we have been on this series for some days now, and I believe for those of you that have followed up on this series, it has helped you become better both in your retouching, color grading, and camera processing points. Okay, today I will be retouching the eyes, how to retouch the eyes, and how to whiten eyes and teeth in Photoshop is what I'm going to be looking at today. So let's get down into business. So the first thing I will do is either I'm creating a frequency separation layer for it, or I can go back to my frequency separation layer and just work on the eyes. But that will be depending. Okay, so what I can do right now is I will not want to use my frequency separation layer for this, because first of all, I know very well that my frequency separation, I used a very high blur for the frequency separation. So I would want to create a special frequency separation for this tutorial. So I will just go to my Retouch Academy and then quickly create. So I'll be looking at my eyes. That's what I'll be looking at to create this frequency separation. So I think, yeah, 6 is okay. So I will just name this eyes FQ. So one quick way that you want to work on this, why we are going through all the stress, is because this is a beauty image. So if it's a full body portrait and maybe any other kind of picture, even a half portrait, you will not want to go through all of this stress in most cases, except you want to. But for a beauty image, you want to pay more attention to the face and all its detail. So I will just off my high frequency the way I do for my normal frequency, and then I will want to brush. Okay, now for this one you can actually on it so you can see what you're doing. I want my eyes to look as real as possible. So you just want to move the tones. The secret is you move the whiter tones to cover up maybe those issues that she's having on her eyes. Don't worry about the color for now. We are going to fix all of that. Our main focus right now is how we are going to make this eye look better than it was. Okay, seems the blur we're using is high, so it has retained more colors on the texture than on the background, but that's fine for us. We don't want it to look too fake, so I just want to do some blending, then we'll go over to the next part of how to get in this eye looking all white. So we are done with this. This is before, now after, before, after. So see the huge change that we have brought on this image. Let us correct something. I actually spilled on the black, so let's return it to the black. So for this group, I'm just going to mask it and I'll invert it, and then let's just brush on the whites. Okay, on 100, let's increase our brush, and then brush on the white. Okay, that's not all for this image. The next thing we are going to do is I'm going to import my hue and saturation layer and use the saturation all the way down. Okay, this is not going to be inside, this is going to be outside. Let's close the eyes, let's close frequency separation. So I quickly want to invert it by clicking Ctrl I. So that's to say I'm changing the white to black, hiding the effect from the image. So quickly I would want to brush on the eyes to take away the redness, that's the color. Okay, we are done with that. Then I will just go over to my curve and then I will click on this icon here to mask it to my hue and saturation, or I could just hold my alt and come in between the two layers, and then you see this icon pop up and then you click and then automatically clips marks the layer. So what I'm trying to say is whatever effect I'm doing on this layer should affect only the areas that is being revealed on this other layer, on the hue and saturation layer. So I will increase my my curve, take it a bit up. Then to reveal more detail, I will take down my shadows a bit. So now note that when you're brushing your hue and saturation layer, you just don't want to cover these red areas. Let's reveal it a bit so that we'll get that realness. You just don't want it to look fake, the eyes to look fake, because you know very well that this is like a beauty, this is a beauty image, so the eyes matters a lot. If you don't get it right in your eyes, it will tell. Okay, so I think we are almost done with this, but the final step to be able to get these eyes not looking dull but giving you that bluish white, that's the step we are going to go over to now. The secret to that is going to your filter, photo filter, and then on your photo filter I'm going to clip mask it to the curve, which is already clip mask into the hue and saturation. So automatically all of them are playing a role on the hue and saturation layer. So I will go over to my blue, and then this is the beautiful result we get. So you see how we can get that bluish white on the eyes and making it look as real as possible. So you can as well either increase it or reduce it, whatever the case is. But for me, I will just I want to, okay, within Ctrl Z. Sorry, let's just go pick our blue. Okay, for me, I'm going to reduce this a little bit to get that realness. Okay, all right, this is amazing. So we have been able to work on our eyes. So this same layer, you can use it to brush on the teeth and get that beautiful white teeth. So she's not smiling here, so we can't really apply this effect on her teeth, but if she was, we'll get that very beautiful white teeth as well. But I don't think I need it for now. I'm fine. So the next thing I'm going to be looking at is how we are going to enhance this makeup. Okay, so how to enhance this makeup. Before I continue, I would want to specially request that if you love this video so far, that please do well to share, and don't forget to like this video and comment, because it helps us to grow this channel to reach more people. And lastly, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so that you get to see all the notifications we get to drop. And make sure you turn on the notification icon, that bell there. It helps you to see more videos that will be dropping. So we have been able to do our blemish remover over here, and then we have been able to do frequency separation. We have been able to do dodge and burn. We have been able to do retouching of the eyes, and we have also been able to do eyes and teeth whitening. So let's get into makeup enhancement. Now for this image, I know very well that the lady actually did a makeup enhancement on her eyes, her lips, and then I'm seeing this beautiful purple hair. And then, not to forget, we have some stuffs on her hair here that we would want to fix. So the way we are going to do that is by going to selective, and my first step is, since I know very well that this is yellow, I would want to go pick my yellow, and then I'll move it all the way up because I want it to pop, and this one all the way down. And then let's play with this to see if we can get that very beautiful yellow. All right, so we have been able to enhance that yellow. You can even make it a bit thicker by reducing the black, and then I would click on Ctrl I, that's to invert it, and then possibly I would want to brush on it to enhance this makeup right here. Okay, alright guys, so we have been able to fix this beautiful part on the face. So now I'm going to be looking at how we are going to fix the lips and then her hair. Now we know very well that she's having this magenta purple look on the hair, on her hair. So let's see what we can do. So we'll just pick selective once again, and then on selective I'm going to be going over to my huge and my magentas, and then I will want to boost the magenta so that I'll get that beautiful look on her hair and then also on the her lips. So let's move this all the way up. So see the game changer here. So already we are having this beautiful work of art on her hair. So this is one way to enhance anything using your selective. So don't be too scared to play with your sliders. Is as you try it out, you get to see different things and how it works. So I'll just reduce this to 28. 28 is fine for me. And then I would also want to go back and then introduce my selective one more time. Right now I'll be working on the lips. I will want the lips to pop and look more beautiful. So I will go back to my red and then take it all up, and then let's just play with it a bit and then see the result we get. Let's go back to our magenta. Let's see the result. Okay, let's see if our blue affect anything. Okay, our blue is just affecting our background, so we want to invert this, Ctrl I, and then we would want to brush on her lips alone. We also get it looking very beautiful. So this is one way you can enhance your lips. And we can still go back to our frequency separation and do a little work on our lips, because it's looking as if it's breaking. This is already, we're getting to dry season, so you can just retouch your lips a little bit. This is a beauty image, so you want everything to look beautiful. Okay, and then you don't want to mix the tone too, the same way you do for your frequency separation. You just want to guide it, let it be the way it is. So I pray that I don't make a mistake on that. But okay, so was I able to? Yes. All right, so this is beautiful. So lastly, we are going to be looking at how we are going to fix this hair and make it look better. So one way that we can do this is we are going to quickly create a new layer, and then we'll get our brush, we'll select on black. You know very well that it's more or less black that is there, or that's supposed to be there. Then we brush on this. Let us reduce our brush to 50, and let's just brush on those areas that are not okay. You can as well, in most cases, to if you want to get that better result, you want to give it what is supposed to be there. Let's not do it too much. Let's just strike it. Let's just have that blend of what the purple should look like over there. So for this is black, so I will go back to my blacks. Don't be too scared to brush. Don't worry, we'll get back our layers or our image. We'll get it back. So I guess we've been able to figure out where all our dandruff, I guess that's what it's called, right? Okay, that's what it's called. So I will double click on this, and then I will use my blend if. Okay, one way to get your blend if is on the layer you're working on. You click on the layer, double click on it, and then you go over to your underlying layer, and then you holding your alt, you tear open. If you don't hold your alt, see what happens when you move it. It shows that okay, you're moving something. So for me to be able to cause that blend, I will hold my alt and then I'll open it and come back a bit and a little bit. Okay, I think I'm fine where I am. Alright, and click OK. So let's just zoom out a bit. Okay, I'm not getting that complete blend of what I want. So I'm still going to review some part of the white. Then I'm going to open it up a bit. A little bit. Let's guide this one back. Then we reduce the opacity. Okay, so before, after, before, after. So you see how we can actually fix all of that. So lastly, like I said, I wanted to enhance the makeup, or my goal is to enhance the makeup. I will go get my selective, and then I'll go over to my blacks and move my black way down. Now I'll invert it. I'll be revealing it on where and where I would want it, which I will want it on the let's just increase this on the eyebrows and the eyes I just want that depth, that contrast that it gives. Then I would also want to brush it on her hair to make her hair stand out, the black on her hair. Remember that during our camera roll we increased the shadow, so it automatically affected the blacks. So for us to be able to restore that beauty back is by increasing, by doing our selective. So let's just brush this one more time so in case there's any place. So if you want to check your selection, maybe you did a selection and you want to check it out, there's this stroke button that is just, okay, excuse, that is just below your backspace. Once you click on it to show you your before and after. So using that, I'm seeing that I didn't select all of these places well, so I want to do that carefully. So I've introduced the background a bit, so I want to review, not want to review so much of the background. So see the difference before, after, before, after. It makes a huge difference. So we can just as well just reduce this a little bit. So we have come to the end of today's section on how to enhance makeup and facial looks in Photoshop. So till we see again in the next part of this video, keep creating. Okay, hello guys, it's GMAX from GMAX Studios, and today we're going to be looking at how to color grade this image, or how I color graded this image. And before I continue, we have been running this series for some time now, from the first part which we had blemish removal to the last section which we had how to enhance your makeup or facial looks in Photoshop using layers and all. So these are some of the layers we have created so far. So I will just quickly select on them and then I will group them before we continue. So I will do Ctrl G to group. Okay, let us also want to add this because this part of the layers. You would want to notice that if I off and on, you see the difference from the lips to the eyes to the makeup to the hair. You get to see how detailed it is because of this little exercise we did. So this is how you enhance your makeup. So if you haven't watched the video, please do well to check our last video, and if you look at the right hand corner of your screen, you see a pop-up of that video. So before you continue to watch on this series, you want to just check out how to enhance your makeup. So this is like a before. So if you're noticing, this is dim, everything is just dim, but with this we are getting that beauty out of the image even without doing the dark skin grading. So back to the subject of today, which is we are going to be looking at how to color grade this image, or how I would color grade this image. First of all, I would want to thank everyone that has followed this series from the first till now. It has really shown your support to the channel, and for those of us that are new to the channel, please do to check our previous videos, and if you like them, please do well to subscribe and turn on the notification for other videos that will be posted on the channel. And then lastly, for all the series you've watched, if you can, please drop a comment. Also, you can also tell us a video that you would want us to do, or something you want us to work on that has been giving you tons of issues and you've been looking for a fix for it. and will do well to try out that on your behalf. And if you love this video, please do well to share to your friends and to fellow photographers out there to help them do better in their photography game. So back to the world of photography here in Photoshop. I'm going to be grading this image, and the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be creating a group for it. Let's call it dark skin. Though I have a dark skin action that I've been working on for some time, we still put one or two things in perfection. It will soon be off for sale. So if you want to get that dark skin action or preset, you can DM, and then we'll work on getting you to have it personally for all your grade and take your image to the next level. So I'm going to create a group, and since it's going to be my pointer is on this, any grade I create is going to be entering into this folder directly, this group directly. So the first step I'll be doing is I'll go to my selective. There are different ways to do it, but for me I'll do it this way today. I want to cause a little glow on my skin. So if you move it this way, you get to see this magenta feel, but I don't want all of that. So I would just want to have this a little bit and a little bit to this way. And then I would want my skin to be thicker, so let's add a bit of the black before, after, and then we just touch the yellows a bit. Then I'll move my yellows to the plus, and then move it also, yeah. So just your selective alone, we have been able to cause a drastic change to this image and to the look of this image. So next I'm going to go over to my black and white, and because this image is very exposed, I might not use as low opacity as I used to use. So for this image, first of all, I will go over to my multiply. You see how beautiful the image is already looking, but I would not want it this dark. So what I will do is I'll quickly reduce this all the way to 25. So you can use 25 for this image. Why I'm using 25, I normally use 22, but because of how exposed the image is, I would want it to come down a bit so I can have that deep dark skin. So I will just duplicate it, quickly duplicate it, Ctrl J. Alright, so once I'm done with that, I will go over to my I'll go over to my color balancing, and then I'll quickly want to do a quick work on this. I'll increase my red for my midtones. For your color balancing, we have our midtones, our highlights, and our shadows. So quickly I want to increase my reds, and then I would also want to increase my yellows. So I think 6 is fine for this image, -6. And then I would want to, for my shadows, I would want to add blues to it, a little bit of blue. So let's go with 4 should be fine, and then I would add a bit of cyans. And then lastly, let's just come back a bit for the cyans. Let's use -4, and then I will go over to my highlight, and then I would want to increase this all the way to 11, and then also want to increase this. So this is like before and after. All I'm trying to do is get a depth. So we are going to go back to our midtones. Let us increase this a little bit more. So before, after, before, after. So you see the depth that my color balancing brings to my image. And then next up, I will go over to my color lookup. Now for me, I was able to discover a color lookup that gives me that beautiful chocolate tone on my skin. So what I can quickly do is I would go over to my loots, and then this is Photoshop 2020. So for those of us that are using 2019, 2020, and I believe even 2021 and 2018 would have this loot, the four colors. So you don't need any extra loot, you don't need anything. So see how it changes the game. It just gives us this warm, even color all throughout the skin, and that has been one of my game changers. So what I'll do is I will just go over to my color, and then going over to my color, see how it blends with the skin. So this is like a before when it was on the normal, and then when it's on color, so it enters into my skin. So I would quickly want to just invert this, and then I would want to get this on my skin. So you can as well take it off the lips, because you want that coolness on the lips. Let it blend with hairs. Okay, but before we continue, we want to just reduce the opacity, because it's a dark skin and that we are trying to get here. So I'll just reduce it, let's say to 25. 25 is fine. 25 is fine. And I will still want to go get my black and white, but this time I'm not going to use multiply. I'm going to be using overlay. Now what overlay does is that it enhances my blacks and also enhances my whites. So I will just reduce this all the way down to, let's see, yes, I think 11 is fine for after. And we are going to now cool down all of these that we have done so far. I'm going to cool this down by going to get our photo filter, and I'll add our cool filter. Now this is where the magic happens for dark skin, because you're now going to reduce all the color tones and all that harsh tones. For me, I like my picture cool, so I will reduce this, let's say, all the way to 38. 38 is fine for me. And then I will lastly want to add a curve layer and increase it. So voila, this is how you color grade your dark skin image to get that black ebony looking skin tone in Photoshop. So till we meet again, before we round up on this series, we just have one more series on how to export this image and what to be done before you export this image to get that final result that will be looking gorgeous on your phone, on your Instagram, on your Facebook, on your social media. We are going to be looking at that secret tip that you can do. Many people have requested that I would love to post my pictures on Instagram, but many a times it's not sharp. What can I do? The next video will be leading you to how you can actually save your image and how you can actually process your image to give you that final look that would make your image sharper on Instagram or any social media. Okay, hello guys. So we have come to the last section of this tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to export this image and what to do before you export this image. Now you want to bear in mind what you're actually using this image for. If I'm using this image maybe to go print, yes. If I'm using this image for Instagram, fine. If I'm using this image as my let's say my Facebook DP, all of that matters a lot. So what should I do before I export? Also, what will be in the back of your mind is, am I exporting this image for an enlargement I'm exporting this image for Instagram? When you consider all of these settings, it would help you and guide you on what to do to be able to get that final beautiful result that when it's being posted both on Instagram or on most of the social medias that you are on, you get that beautiful feedback from people on how sharp and how beautiful it's looking. So before I continue, I want to appreciate you guys for following up on this series. It has been a long one, but you have been with me from start to finish. And if you're new to my channel, please do well to like this video, do well to comment, and don't forget share, because there are many people that are out there are looking for a way forward to take their photography to the next level. And since you're able to benefit from this, please do well to share, because it's going to also help us grow and do more for the community. Lastly, you would want to subscribe to the channel and don't forget to turn on the notification, because once you do, each time we post a video, you get to be notified that there's a video up for you to see. Okay, all right, so I will quickly just want to merge this. So the first step is you want to merge your work. But let us look at this image. We have done a lot here. We started from this to this, from this to this. So this is beautiful. For me, it is beautiful. I don't know about you, but for me, I think I'm very, very happy with the progress you made with this image. So I will merge these layers, which I will click on my Shift Alt Control E. If you're using the Mac, that is Command E. So we'll let you load. So it is done loading. Let's say I want to save this for Instagram. So my first step is I will go over to my crop tool, and then I'll pick my crop tool. Then looking at this image, what's purple Instagram, I will want to pick my 8x10. If I would want to use this image for, let's say, a wallpaper for my DP on Facebook or WhatsApp, I want to use my square meter, which is the 1/1, which I'll be having something like this. So possibly I will want to crop my image to this part, maybe something like this, to be able to get that result that I would want. But I'm not working that way for this image. I'm actually using the 8x10, the 4x5. So many people also used to ask, how can I post an image without Instagram cropping it? This is one way to do that. When you crop it yourself using these settings, Instagram will not need to crop it for you. So I feel like crying right now because I have done a whole lot of work down here, and it seems it's just going to go all into dust. Or if you just don't want to lose all your details, you can as well keep space, but you know that you'll be having this white border. So but for me and for the purpose of the tutorial, I could do it this way. There are two ways you can do it. Either you show the hairs or you cut off the hairs. To just lay more emphasis on the facial work you've done. So this is beautiful. So you can do it this way, or as well you can also crop it this way. So for most people, they crop it before even they start retouching, so that all of these issues will not happen, and then you will not have to spend so much time retouching a part that you will not be using. So for now, we are not using this part. If we were to crop it this way, right? But for me, I would not want to. It's either I'm doing it two ways, cropping it this way and cropping it the other way. But I prefer to use the other way. So I would crop from here. So I would want to crop from here. Let's just take a little bit down. I want to pay more attention to the face, and then to her neck. Okay, I'm not too satisfied. I'm not too satisfied. Let us go back. Let us go back on this. Let's go back on this. I feel like crying right now because a lot of work we have done already. We can't really get it. So let's reduce the neck where the neck starts. Okay. So I think I'm fine. Yeah, I'll click on OK. Okay, fine. I think I would appreciate this better. Let's just go up a bit. I don't want this the shoulder part to show too much. Now what I'm trying to show you is the crop sizes that you can use that would match into Instagram very well without Instagram cutting the size of your image. And this also can also affect the quality of your image when you post on Instagram, because when Instagram tends to cut it, it will have to do a whole lot of work to be able to get that size that it wants for your image. So I've been working with this system since last night, so it's a bit slow. Yamaru. So when I post it, that's when you now work. Okay, so we are done. We are done with this. We have been able to crop this image to give us that beautiful look and reveal the details that we want to reveal on the image. So I will quickly want to merge it, which I would use my Shift Alt Control E. So it has merged. Then before I would export it, I would go over to my camera raw, which I would use my go over to filter, then I'll go over to camera raw. Shortcut key Shift Control A or Shift Command A. Okay, so it has finally opened. Work on this to be able to get that final image. So I will want to for me, I'll first of all add my dehaze. Let's say 13 is fine. And then I'll go over to my darks. I want to reveal a bit of the darks, and then maybe a little bit of curves. Yes, on this image. So if you had done your curve and it was okay on your layers, you don't need to do it here. But if not, you can. So then I'll add a bit of my sharpness. Okay, sorry, not the radius. We are going to be shifting the sharpness. Now when you hold your alt, it's going to change to black, and then you move it all the way up. Once you hold your alt, so I'm going to move this sharpness to 60. 60 is fine. You'll see the way it's looking all beautiful. See all the pores. It's just shouting that, see me here. Alright, so once I add the sharpness, I would not want it to be all around the skin. I would want it on some specific places, which how to do that with your camera raw is by holding this mask, and then you hold your alt together, and then you draw it up. Now remember, white reveals black height. So at the point where you're not seeing the white and you're seeing only the blacks, that's to say this sharp effect is only on those areas that is white. So I don't want it everywhere. So if you notice, if it is at 0, it is all over the image. When it's taken all the way to 100, it's on the edges. But I don't want to be at the edges. I just want to come to a point where, okay, it's been revealed but not totally. So 83 is fine for me. Before, after. So I will go over to my color mixer, my HSL panel, and then I will go over to the saturation and reduce my orange. Remember that for the user, for your saturation, your orange controls your saturation on your skin. So I'll reduce that, and then I'll also want to reduce my reds a bit, because the red affect the skin also. See how it causes a change. So I just want to create a balance. So since I'm reducing my orange, I want to reduce that. So if I would want to get this purple look more, I can as well boost this, but just a little bit. I would want to have that, just a little bit. And then I would want to have a feel of this magenta. So I'll vary it to be able to have, instead of having all purple, I want it to pop in the lips. Before, after. And then I'll just reduce a bit of this red to take the color of the skin. I don't want the color to be too saturated. That's the way you balance your color. Then I might as well just come to add this a little bit, at least to 19. Then let me cross check. I'm doing all my checks and balancing. Let's just leave this at 18. Okay, before, after. Let's add a little bit. No, I'm fine. Ctrl Z. I think I'm fine with this image, and I love it so much. Let's increase a bit of the yellow. See what happens. So when we increase the yellow, it affects this eye area, and then we are good. So with all of this that I have just done, it will help your picture to look better and look more enhanced when you post it. So for those of you that will be watching this from your laptop screen or maybe from your phone, know that your laptop screen varies. So even if you might not look too saturated here, the previous one was looking better and all, but I love it this way. I like it this way. If this is looking kind of too desaturated, I can as well just reduce my opacity a bit, or even if 90 is fine, even if I wanted to, and then I'll merge. Okay, you don't need to merge, don't mind me. Okay, now okay, I will quickly want to export. Now this is where the trick happens, how to export this image. So for many persons, they have asked, how would you export your image that it will not give you this color variation? Have you ever posted exported an image and then using the normal, let's say, save, then you get to put your image on a phone and it changes color once in a while? This one, for you to get that exact color that you exported, you want to go to export, under file export, then you want to go to save for web. That's the save for web panel. So you allow it, let it load. Because of so much work we have done so far, it's going to have to load and process all that we have done on it. So if this is your first time using the save for web panel, you want to do one or two changes that would give you the result you're looking for. So one of the changes you have to do is, when you just step into your save for net for the first time, it's going to be on GIF. So do well to remember that you need to change it to JPEG. So for me, it's already on JPEG, and then I will leave all my settings the way it is: quality at 60 and blur at 0, matte and all. You just don't want to touch anything. So for, let's say, particularly for Instagram, how to say for Instagram, I want to change the settings to 2600. So it automatically, when you change the width, it changes the height, and it also changes the percentage. So you want to leave the quality at cubic too. So once I do that, I will click on save. So I would want to look for maybe a folder or so. For me, I'm good. I'll just save it on my desktop. And that is how you process your image before saving, and also how you can export your image, and the best exporting settings that will give you that beautiful result on Instagram and on your social media. So thank you for watching this video. If you learned a lot from these videos and from this series, this is like the last part of this series. Till we see again for the next series, or the next video will be uploading, I believe that you would be able to use this to the best of your ability to create. Like I would say in my previous videos, you just don't want to stop trying, you just don't want to stop practicing, because it's in it that you get the best out of yourself. And if you like this video, please do well to share this video to your friends, and don't forget, like, comment, and also subscribe and turn on the notification, so that each time we post, you get to see it. I run online classes, one-on-one online classes, for individuals that are willing to go out to get the best for their photography and retouching game. I can run online classes. We run online classes, one-on-one online classes on Zoom, and those classes are not free, they are paid classes. And soon we are going to be posting some of our loots, which will be up for sale soon, both the dark skin loots, even more advanced loots than this. But this is a tip on how to draw your image. And then we are going to be posting raw presets of grades that can change your image from just your normal image and take it to the next level. So till we see again in our next video, I remain your host, GMAX from GMAX Studio. Remain creative. Thank you.